Today's guest is Nichole Hamilton, who is a diverse mom of three with a successful multi-six-figure coaching business. Her passion is helping our children heal, and through her own journey, she has healed addiction, self-sabotage, depression, and trauma. Her holistic qualifications, mounted with 17 years educational and motherhood experience, have her lead this mission and purpose. So, Nichole, thank you very much for being on. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I'm quite excited to dive in with you, and it's always cool when I have somebody from places like Australia or like Europe, where it's like they showed up to do this when it's like a complete crazy time difference. So I was saying before, thank you very much for doing this. And number two, I'm always excited when I have other coaches on here. I mean, I do attract a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs, but it's always cool when you see coaches kind of walking their own talk, right? Like I'm a firm believer that coaches need coaches as well.
100%.
So I want to commend you for that at number one. And I'd love to dive into like what got you into this work and how did you get to the successful point that you're at right now?
Thank you for asking. It is a twisty journey, but I'm 41, nearly 42 now, and in just as I turned 30, I was in the worst place possible. I was an ice addict. I think you call it ice in the States, like methamphetamines, and I just really was so low, like just didn't want to be here anymore. And I had asked for um, medical help here in Australia. We have drug and alcohol counselling. We have, doctors and psychologists, and nothing worked. Like I would get sober for a couple of weeks and then I'd go back. And I was literally crawling on my hands and knees on the floor, like going crazy. Like there was no money left. And I was with my ex-husband at the time. And I just knew that there was something more. And by chance, or as fate would put it, one of my friends had a boyfriend who was a hypnotherapist at the time. And when I met him, like he looked at me across the room, and he's an energetic healer as well. And my whole body tingled. And I had no idea what coaching or hypno was or NLP or any of that. And my whole body tingled. And I didn't know if I could look at him or not, because I didn't know if he was like hypnotizing me with his eyes. And I just knew that that's what I needed. And I booked a session with him to quit smoking, but he didn't know it was to quit smoking drugs. It was just like via email back then, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And I just filled out the pre-form saying I want to quit smoking. And I went into this session, and it was such a breakthrough. And I just knew that I saw my life with my kids and this beautiful white light and sobriety. And then I saw this dark hole with my ex-husband and drugs. And I was like, I have to take the path on the right. And it took me a while, like after getting sober and leaving my ex-husband, to be able to like realize another calling. But it was to start learning this stuff, learning why our brain does it, what we do, why we self-sabotage. And I honestly thought that I would work with adults in the same kind of realm of addiction and depression. But every time I started studying, and I just, everything downloaded to me to play with kids with this. Like, why are we not doing this for our kids? Like, they have the same kind of emotions and feelings and self-sabotaging behaviors at a little level. Like, why are we not teaching them mind maps and changing states and breath and play and energetic healing? Like, why are we not? And so here I am now, 11 years later, with a really successful business, coaching kids, playing with kids with all these holistic modalities. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of us and coaches in the world, right? Why are there not more for kids? So it's literally my mission to make a world of children's coaches. And so yeah, I teach others how to get out there and do that as well.
That's absolutely amazing because the reason so many of us get into addiction, right? And I've shared this on the podcast before, where it's like, if I didn't have to snort it or take it, like it fits the bill of like addiction, like all of the things under, or except for those two, it's like fits the bill for addictive behavior 100%. Right. And
Mm.
for me, that manifested in my business quite a lot, in self-sabotaging behaviors in the business. So the fact that you have this transformation and then see the side that I think that we often miss, because so much of the work as adults is really like unlearning the crap and healing the crap that you had gone through as a kid without the
Mm.
resources to like handle it. So
Yeah.
it's like, instead of having to do the work from that perspective and heal from that perspective and get in touch with your inner child. And that has its value and it's a big part of what I do as well. But to like shift the perspective and really go into, why don't we just go to the source? Like, why don't we stop the problem from getting that bad that then we have to do all this work to fix and et cetera, et cetera. I think that's such a beautiful thing, as like, it's not even like it's preventative, but you're also doing the healing on a essentially underserved and overlooked part of
Correct.
like humanity. So I'd love for you to just comment and whatever to that.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were, are amazing in their own right, but they don't know what they don't know. And, I've got three kids now, a 16 and almost 13 and a little 2-year-old. And I parent that 2-year-old so differently because I don't want her to have the suppression of emotions. We were told to go away and, don't cry and go to your room and those types of things. They, time and time again, show us to suppress our emotions. And when we suppress our emotions, we then feel unsafe in our own nervous system and our own body. And then we then find other ways to escape. So why are we not holding space for our kids, for their emotions, to work through it? You can still have beautiful boundaries and the rest, but parent differently, parent consciously. And so a big part of it as well was teaching parents what they don't know as well, so that we're not enforcing these strategies that are not going to help them in their future, and showing them that us as adults, we don't have all the answers either. We need to ask for help. We need our coaches. We need our therapists. We need that. So they should be asking for it early. Like, it's okay to ask for help. So yeah, that's what a big part of it is.
Absolutely. And I can imagine that a lot of your work also deals with helping the parents, not just the kids. So yeah,
Correct.
I can,
Yeah.
I can see
Guaranteed. If a kid comes in with a meltdown or has anger issues or is going through something, 99% of the time the parent's doing the same. They need to fill their cup. They're overwhelmed. They've got stuff going on. So it's a, part and parcel.
that. Which I'm sure they love hearing from you, is like, oh yeah, okay, so I'm actually contributing to this as well.
Well, what you see is what you get with me. I am quite honest, but it does take a bit of rapport building before you can call somebody on their shit.
A
But yeah.
100%. So yeah. Believe me, I get it. So it all makes sense. So what I'd love to then dive into, because not only do you have this cool mission, clearly successful at it, right? Clearly have gone through the ringer and have the, scars to show why I can do this work. Like, it all like lines up. So what is it that's happening right now, with you as the entrepreneur or within your business, that essentially brings you here today?
Yes. For me, there's twofold. So my finances could be better. It's kind of like money in, money out. So there's that real push pull. And I don't know if that's, again, me trying to coach myself from childhood and, role models that I had. So, and really the belief in myself that I am good enough to take this mission to, to world stage, to that level. There's always that bit of self-doubt that's like, can I hold capacity for this many people? Or who wants to learn from me? There's that imposter syndrome that pops up, that creeps in, that kind of holds me back. Yeah.
Got it. So when you consider all of those, right? Because clearly you're very self-aware, because like you got right to the issue. This is not, the first time that you've thought about this. Like, I can tell. What seems most relevant to you in this moment right now?
I think the imposter syndrome, like, it comes up in regard to that. I'm not probably good enough to take it to the world stage, to grow to a bigger capacity.
And as a coach yourself, how might you coach yourself through that?
How might I coach myself? So I have my own coaches as well that I, try and do healings on, but every layer brings another layer. And it's funny that the more you learn, the craftier you get. So yeah, I'm really not sure. Because I know that analytically I can try and like pull it apart, but I know that it's deeper than that. Like, I know it's more soul level. So
Okay. So it's doesn't resonate like it's a quote unquote cognitive block, as in like I understand my thoughts around this. I know logically I'm obviously good enough to do this. It is something deeper
It's
in
something
terms of,
different, for sure, that's holding me back.
okay, got it. So are you cool to dive into and see what that deeper thing might be?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So do you do any sort of like somatic work or like tapping into your body? Like what's your experience with that kind of work?
Yeah, so I use like multiple modalities, like internal family systems, like Reiki, energy work, just body scans, just that intuitive, like following my soul, I kind of call it. So yeah, just falling into my body. And when we're talking about it, I can literally feel it. It kind of like it's got a pathway behind my heart, down behind my body, but not in the front, like kind of in the back. And it's like a, yeah, it's like a, almost like a boulder, kind of like weighing me down, like pulling me back to my, funnily enough, the left side of my body.
Perfect. So if you're familiar with parts work, then why don't we dive into that ball that's in the middle of your body and see what comes up? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay. So, um, are you okay to close your eyes to do this, or you
Mm-hmm.
prefer to have them open? Okay.
No, no, I'm cool to close.
Okay. So I'll let you get settled in. Right. I usually just recommend take 5 deep grounding breaths. Beautiful. So keeping the exhale longer than the inhale. And as you're going through your breaths, following the breath down through your body, I invite you to just keep the intention around that ball and that heaviness that you felt in the middle of your body. And when you feel like you've landed there in your time, just give me a verbal cue and we can take it from there.
Yeah.
So when you're tuning into that part in the middle of your body, that heavy ball, what's coming up for you as you tune into it?
Makes me feel sad, like I want to cry. Feels really heavy and almost has like a visual of like a ball and chain, like being imprisoned by something, like, you know, long time ago, like being held back and almost like a slave to something.
Okay. So great awareness. And if you tune into that ball and chain, that part could talk. What might it say?
It says, I don't want to be here. I
And
don't want to
where
be
is,
stuck.
I don't
I
want to
want
be,
to be, I don't want, yeah, I don't want to be pinned down. I don't want to be stuck.
okay. And where is here?
It's kind of, it's kind of like it just in darkness, like trapped with um like like low energy. Like it does it's more like a freedom thing. It doesn't want to be pinned down and stuck with in one place. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And what is it stuck and pinned down by?
Just by that ball and chain, like it's just, yeah, it's just wrapped around my ankles and just holding me back.
Okay. And does that ball and chain represent anything, or that's just the feeling that it has?
No, that's just the feeling. Doesn't bring up a situation or a person. Just a feeling.
Okay. Beautiful. So great awareness. So that stuckness, does it want to be unstuck, or is it just afraid to be unstuck?
Yeah, it's just afraid.
And what would it need to get unstuck?
It's funny, just before you asked that, it kind of turned into a bow and ribbon. So instead of a chain, and it just needs to be undone. Like it's available. Like it just needs to be pulled and undone. It's just a like a figment of my imagination. I can change it if I want to.
Okay. And does it trust you to pull that ribbon?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And are you willing to pull that ribbon?
Yeah, my heart says yes.
Okay. And are there any other parts of you that object to that ribbon being pulled?
There's a slight bit in my head that's like the dark voice. It's like you can't do it, but my heart outweighs that. Like there's a big yes, there's a big pull here.
Beautiful. So thank that part in your head and just ask it if it's willing to step aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. So now that you have the space and you're willing and you have the trust to pull that ribbon, I invite you to dive in and pull the ribbon.
I just feel so much lighter.
Okay. Beautiful. Anything else coming up when you do that?
It's like lots of helium balloons, like, you can float, the sky's the limit kind of metaphor. Like,
Okay. And is there anything unearthing once you pull that ribbon, or it's just the release?
no, it's just the release. There is like a slight, it's almost like a snake in the grass, but like in the thing. And I think that's just like the fear of judgment of others. It's not to do with my releasing myself. It's just that peripheral, there's that fear of judgment of going higher, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's just there.
Like if you follow that expansion,
Yeah.
the fear of judgment comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little, but yeah.
And does it feel relevant to dive into that snake and that judgment right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So if you dive into that judgment, that snake, what would it say to you?
Mm. It says to me, you always want more.
Okay. And how does it feel towards you?
Kind of jealous.
Okay.
And
And,
it's kind of got like that like untrusting vibe, like a sneaky vibe.
and is that vibe towards you, or is that the vibe of it?
That's the vibe of it.
Okay. And what does that part need?
Love. Just give it love.
And who does it need love from?
I think from themselves, not from everybody, but mostly from themselves.
Okay. Like that part needs to love itself more.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. And what's stopping it from doing that?
I think just the fear of letting somebody in.
Anyone in particular?
I guess letting me in.
And what's so scary about letting you in?
Scared of being hurt. Scared of being left, abandoned.
So it had to develop judgment in order to keep you at bay, get your attention. Why did it have to judge you?
I think at a level just to keep itself safe.
Okay. There was a part that got abandoned and had to turn to judgment to keep itself safe. So now that you're present with this part here, are you here to judge it?
No.
Are you here to abandon it?
No.
And what are you here to do?
Love it and inspire it.
Okay.
Nurture
Is it willing to receive that from you?
it. Yes.
Okay. So why don't you give it all the love that it was missing from you before?
It's really good.
How does that part feel right now?
Yeah, really good. Like it just kind of like dissolved. Just felt effortless.
Okay, beautiful. Is there any other part that's present for you right now?
No, I just feel so aligned.
Beautiful. So thank all the parts that did show up. And if they feel like they've gotten what they need from you, what I invite you to do is to just, with curiosity, with compassion, bring to yourself and to your parts the imposter syndrome, the sense that I'm not good enough to bring this to the world stage, that really opened up the exploration of these parts, and see what comes up.
I kind of like I'm very visual, so I kind of see um, like a version of me stuck behind the mirror, but it's almost like Alice in Wonderland looking through the looking glass. She just needs to step through, and all the other parts, like the snake and the boulder and the love, it's all there just waiting for me to kind of step through and merge the two worlds together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kind of see.
And what two worlds would you be merging if you stepped through that mirror?
Well, everything, the belief, the judgment, the love, the expectations, the fear. And if we just, if I, when I take that leap and step through, like the worlds will just merge into something so beautiful, so creative, so magical.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So now that these judgment parts, these fear parts have received the love that they've felt neglected from, are they excited to have you merge with them?
100%. Yeah. It's like that tea party calling me. Like, let's go play. Let's go. What are you waiting for? Just,
Beautiful. So what are you waiting for then?
nothing.
Okay.
It's like a beautiful aura shift, like the whole, from the merging of the dark to the whole life, like just becoming purple and blue and light and playful and just like, yeah, jumping into that next level world of amazingness.
Beautiful. So what I invite you is to just allow yourself to receive that, to not rush away from it, but to really just revel in it. Allow your nervous system to accept it, allow your capacity for it to expand. Yes. Breathe through it, right? Note that one of your doubts was, can I hold the capacity for this many people? Here is an opportunity to hold the capacity for more. Okay? And then visually, I just invite you to actually open up your arms, like really expand your body, be in a state where, yes, you can take it all in. And as you're doing that, I invite you to really take up space inside of the room that you're in, right? Expand your arms, expand your chest, whatever feels natural to you. I want you to revel in, bask in, bathe in, taking up space and holding capacity for goodness. And I'm going to give you the space to just do that on your own. And when it feels complete, you can bring yourself back to the present. Okay. How are you feeling?
Um, tingly, brighter, obviously brighter. The sun's up now. Very expansive.
Mm-hmm. And what's coming up for you as the emotion surfaces?
Kind of uh, like literally like waking from a dream, like that feeling of disbelief, but also a feeling of um, gratitude and yeah, relief. Like there's just a release. Yeah, which
Beautiful.
brings back a yeah a sense of groundedness and peace to it all. Like it just
And how can you bring this into your business day to day?
For me, I think it's bringing back that sense of play to myself. Like sometimes I get so serious and so bogged down, which obviously is what I was feeling, that resistance, that trap feeling, that, sense of, I guess, yeah, not wanting to feel so stuck. And when I step into that light and that playfulness and the realm of possibility, it's just so much more fun. So for me, I think don't take it so seriously. Just play with it more. Is what's coming up. And play in business, like have fun, like I do with my kids. Yeah. So bringing back a sense of, yeah, flow and freedom to my business. Dude, yeah, that's what's coming up for me.
Beautiful. And when you tune into that, bringing that sense of play into the work,
Yeah.
how do you feel about the issues that you initially brought up, right? The finances, the money going in, money going out, the belief in self, I'm not good enough.
I think it just reminds me that they're all just constructs and just, when we're kids, we don't think about that. Like we just are. And so just coming back to my innate soul and play and just, yeah, remind myself that's not even real. Like, I get to create my reality. I get to play. I can have Alice in Wonderland in my life if that's what I choose to play in. It just, yeah, so easy to get trapped in that darkness, that fear. And so just let it all go and just play, like come back to that playful side that really is in us, and then none of that stuff matters, which is where the heart and the manifesting comes from, I believe. Like when we connect back to that pure light that we have, so easy to forget it.
Yeah. And from the outside looking in, it's like the trust is in the play.
It's in the play, yeah.
Yeah.
that
That's where
yeah
the
that that authentic play that just is like where our souls are created. Like go back to that creation and just play, like have fun.
yeah. And I mean, I know I don't know you very well because it's the first time we've met, but given that your business and your direction, your calling is to be with kids, there's probably a big essence of you that's rooted in play as well, right? Like you thrive in that type of energy.
Yeah, I do.
So
And I think maybe I've just been taking myself too seriously. I'm doing a lot of teaching lately, so yeah, it's just time to bring back some more play and fun into the everyday.
correct. And if you look at how we started, right? The ball and chain that had
Yeah,
no specific, like, let's just say tangible thought or event around it, but it was stuck. It was
I'm
pulling me
stuck.
down. It was an anchor, right? You
Yeah,
can't play when you're tied down.
correct. Yeah. Yeah, which comes into the balloons and just having fun and being light and yeah, not taking it all so seriously. Like, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, in that case, does that feel complete for you, or is there still something left
Yeah,
outstanding?
no, I love it. I love it. So beautiful. So relevant and yeah, so interesting. I love it. Doesn't
Love
matter
it.
how much work we do, there's always, yeah, stuff to unravel and play with and have fun with and heal.
Yeah, it's like the three constants are always going to be uncertainty, pain, and the need to do the work. Like
Correct.
that's always going to come up. So got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, if it does feel complete for you,
Yeah.
I'd love for you to just summarize in your own words what were your biggest takeaways from the experience.
Mm. The biggest takeaway is to always be open, like open to that discovery. Doesn't matter how long we've been in the coaching world, to really walk the walk. Like that's the biggest thing. Like, be open to these experiences. Secondly is, yeah, not to take myself so seriously, like play, like have fun. Like you only get this one life. So why am I not playing every day? Like for making that time, with kids, with my family, with myself, with everything, which then just becomes so fun, which then reminds me that that's how I created this therapy. Like, I engage kids to play, like anything can be healed in a sense of play. So it's just reminding me to have fun with it. It doesn't always have to be like a scary healing session or a coaching session. Like have fun with it. It can be beautiful as well.
Yep. 110%. And what a beautiful summary, but beautiful message as well. So I thank you for that. So yeah, if you want to just close us off then and let everybody know where to find you, who's the best person to find you. Floor is yours
Yeah,
for that.
beautiful. So yeah, I'm Nichole Hamilton on Facebook and socials. I have the kids coach is my branding for teaching others how to get out there and look at like coach kids, and I have children's safe space as well. So it's really important for me to create safe space for children to come to. So you can find me on all those socials, and yeah, I can give you some tags to add to the bottom of the podcast.
Sounds good. We will include all of those. So Nichole, thank you very much for coming on and allowing you to be witnessed in the process. So very appreciative for you.
Thank you so much, Dressco. It was beautiful. It was worth getting up early for.
Good. I'm glad that's probably the best testimonial as possible. So thank you.
100% worth it. 100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And for everybody else listening, we'll see you on the next one.
Beautiful.